Welcome back to Superbly Said, Advanced English Vocabulary and Phrases.
And today's content is drawn directly from a great lesson on SpeakDuo.
That's right, SpeakDuo.com. It's a fantastic platform for meeting people, practicing English on video calls, and just, building that real-world confidence.
Exactly. So we're just going to dive straight in. We're focusing on some really high-level terms for advanced learners.
Let's do it. First up, let's talk about a foundational relationship term, quality time. This is all about time spent giving your full, intentional attention to another person or an activity.
Right, specifically to strengthen that connection.
And I think the real difference between quality time and, say, just spending time together is...
The focus. The currency is focus.
Exactly. Just being in the same room, isn't it?
Not at all. When you just spend time together, you're measuring duration. It's quantity, but quality time, that's a deliberate investment of your mental energy.
It suggests a real prioritization, doesn't it? Like even if you're busy, you're allocating that specific resource.
For sure.
So you could have an example like, even though the parents were managing extremely demanding schedules, they made sure to allocate focused, quality time with their children every evening before bed.
They're treating it like a priority.
Yes, not some secondary activity. And in a more high-level discussion, like for an exam, you could say something like, I believe regular, brief periods of quality time where you focus completely on each other are dramatically more valuable than one long conversation where minds wander.
That's a great example. It establishes a much deeper stance on relationships.
Okay, next up we have untethered.
Ooh, I like this one.
Literally, it means not tied to something, but metaphorically, it describes feeling disconnected, lacking a sense of belonging or stability.
And I think a lot of advanced learners confuse untethered with simply being free or released.
Right.
But the nuance is so critical. Freedom is almost always positive. It's liberation. Untethered, on the other hand, often captures the anxiety that comes with losing an anchor.
That instability when everything familiar just vanishes.
Precisely. The structure, the routine. It's gone.
Which makes it a perfect word for discussing modern challenges. You could say, after losing her job in the restructuring, she felt completely untethered. The freedom was quickly overshadowed by the uncertainty.
It really speaks to that social disorientation. Think about moving to a new country. When people move to a new country without a social network, they often feel profoundly untethered because they lack the familiar routines that provided stability in their previous life.
It's like you're just floating adrift.
That's the feeling.
All right, our third phrase is all about action and impact. To undermine an effort or a goal.
So this means to weaken or damage the success of something, but often subtly, gradually.
Yes, and that subtlety is key when you compare to undermine with, say, to oppose or to challenge.
Right. Opposing is direct. It's an open battle. You know it's happening.
But undermining is like a quiet erosion. It targets the very foundation of something. And often the person doesn't even realize until the damage is already done.
It can even be self-sabotage.
Absolutely. You see it with small, repeated actions that destroy a long-term goal. For instance, constantly checking social media while studying will inevitably undermine your efforts to concentrate.
It's not an open rejection of studying.
No.
It's just a slow erosion of its effectiveness. It's foundational to performance, really. An athlete might hear, a persistent lack of sleep can severely undermine months of rigorous training by preventing essential muscle recovery.
The base of their performance is just silently chipped away.
Exactly.
Okay, that brings us to language itself. The phrase is mainstream vocabulary.
This refers to the common words and ideas that are, used and understood by most people in a society.
And it's really important to distinguish this from jargon or technical terms.
Oh, completely. Jargon is specialized by design. It's meant to be precise for a specific field, and it can be exclusionary.
Whereas mainstream vocabulary is defined by its wide acceptance. It's inclusive.
It's a great measuring stick for cultural shifts.
It really is. You could say, decades ago, openly discussing topics like anxiety was difficult, but now terms like self-care are fully part of the mainstream vocabulary.
And that reflects a major shift in public perception.
For sure. Or when talking about technology, It takes a long time for even the most useful internet terms to fully enter the mainstream vocabulary of older generations.
Right. It needs true mass adoption, not just a trending status on social media.
Let's shift now to limits and boundaries with the phrase, up to a point.
This means to a certain degree or to a certain limit, but not completely.
Yes, the effect or influence eventually stops, and we use this when we need to be more precise than just saying partially.
That's a great distinction. Saying something works partially just implies it's incomplete. But saying it works up to a point, that defines a clear boundary.
The hard stop.
A hard stop, where the utility just ceases.
And that boundary is so useful in professional settings. For example, the manager listened to the employee's complaints up to a point, but then she had to move on to the next agenda item.
The limit was reached. It's also great for broader, more philosophical statements. Technology helps with personal productivity up to a point. Beyond that, personal discipline is still required for true success.
So the technology hits a wall, and human effort has to take over.
That's it.
Okay, phrase number 6 is about intensifying your effort, to double down on something.
This means becoming more determined or putting significantly more effort into a decision, usually because the first try wasn't enough.
And the nuance here, when you compare it to just persevering or continuing, is really about risk and intensity.
It is. The phrase comes from card games, right? So it implies you're increasing the stakes, often when a more cautious person might pull back.
Right. Persevering is just maintaining your effort. Doubling down is escalating.
A huge escalation.
It suggests an all-in commitment. For example, I need to urgently double down on saving money so I can finally afford a down payment on an apartment.
Which means the initial effort wasn't cutting it.
Exactly. And it also speaks to personal sacrifice. A business owner might say, the initial investment didn't deliver, so we had to double down on strengthening our core product.
Instead of expanding.
Right.
A tough choice.
Okay, next, an informal but really effective one, to dig into something.
This means to investigate or explore a topic thoroughly, in depth.
It's all about the intensity and the scope. When you compare to dig into with something like to read about or to review.
Oh, there's no comparison. A review is quick. Reading about can be casual. Digging into implies an intellectual excavation.
I like that, excavation. It suggests real time and energy.
A lot of energy.
It communicates that rigorous effort perfectly. A journalist, for example, before writing the report, she spent a week digging into the historical records.
It also works well when you're expressing intellectual ambition.
How so?
You could say, I would love to dedicate a year to truly dig into the principles of quantum physics, as it seems so complex. It shows a deep curiosity.
That's a great point. Okay, phrase number 8 is a powerful one. Shrouded in stigma.
It means completely covered or surrounded by disgrace, by negative stereotypes, or shame, which makes it very difficult to talk about.
And this is so much stronger than just calling a topic secret or controversial.
So much stronger. A secret is just confidential. Controversial means people disagree.
But shrouded in stigma, that word shrouded is like a veil. It suggests the topic is hidden not by choice, but by deep societal disapproval.
By shame.
By shame, yes. It perfectly captures historical barriers. For many years, certain diseases were tragically shrouded in stigma, which prevented people from seeking the help they desperately needed.
And that's why it's so powerful when public figures talk about these things.
Right.
You could say, openness from public figures helps normalize topics that are shrouded in stigma and removes that shame.
Absolutely. Okay, our final phrase is to be ingrained in something.
This means to be so firmly fixed or established in a person's habits or beliefs that it is extraordinarily difficult to change.
And we should challenge the comparison between ingrained and simply habitual.
We should. A habit can often be broken with some conscious effort.
Right.
But something that's ingrained is much deeper. It's a fundamental fixture of your personality or your culture. It's part of your core programming.
So it's not just a surface behavior. For example, with cultural norms, the habit of recycling has become so ingrained in the community that people do it automatically, without thinking.
And it can also speak to fundamental values. The idea that hard work is essential for respect is deeply ingrained in my professional mindset.
Making it hard to embrace other ideas.
Exactly. Like work-life balance.
All right.
We have thoroughly dug into these 9 phrases. Now, let's move on to a quick quiz to make sure you've really captured the depth of meaning here.
Listen carefully. Try to recall those key distinctions we discussed, not just the basic definitions.
Question 1. The concept of quality time emphasizes spending time that is, option A, focused entirely on the other person or activity to strengthen the relationship.
Option B, structured around productive activities like cleaning or working on a joint project.
Or option C, measurable by the total duration and frequency of interactions throughout the day.
Feel free to pause here if you need to think about the answer.
The correct answer is option A.
It has to be A. The critical element of quality time is that intentional, focused investment.
Right. It's what distinguishes it from just quantity, like the parents making that focused time every single evening.
Exactly.
Question 2. When a person feels untethered, metaphorically, they are feeling...
Option A, restricted and trapped by numerous responsibilities and social obligations. Option B, joyfully released from financial obligations and corporate hierarchies permanently.
Or option C, disconnected, unrestricted, or lacking a fundamental sense of belonging or stability.
Okay, the correct answer is option C.
Yes, feeling untethered is all about that psychological cost of losing your anchor.
Like the person who felt untethered after losing their job. It's about that uncertainty.
Okay, question 3. What is the primary effect of an action that is described as undermining an effort? Is it option A, it openly confronts the effort, making its failure evident and immediate to everyone?
Option B, it weakens or subtly damages the success, effectiveness, or foundation of the effort.
Or option C, it reallocates the resources of the effort, thereby delaying its ultimate completion indefinitely.
And the answer here is B.
Option B is correct. Undermining gets its power from being gradual and subtle.
That foundational damage. Think about constantly checking social media. How it can undermine your concentration. It's that internal erosion.
Question 4. Mainstream vocabulary refers to the set of words that are option A, accepted and used primarily in formal academic papers and specialized technical reports.
Option B, newly coined slang terms that are used exclusively within digital social media platforms.
Or is it C, the common words, phrases, and ideas used and understood by the majority of people in society?
And the correct answer is C.
Yes, option C. The whole definition of mainstream vocabulary is its wide acceptance across society.
Just like we talked about with a word like self-care, moving into common everyday use.
Exactly. Question 5. If a solution works up to a point, it means option A, it is highly effective and reliable only within specific predefined geographical borders.
Option B, is effective to a certain degree or limit, but its influence or effect eventually stops.
Or option C, it provides a necessary interim fix until a better, more permanent method can be found.
The answer here is option B.
It is. The phrase up to a point is powerful because it establishes that hard limit where something stops working.
Just like technology helping to organize your life up to a point, but then human discipline has to kick in.
Okay, question 6. To double down on something implies a person is doing what? Option A, they are admitting that their previous commitment was ill-advised and making a small, calculated retreat.
Option B, they are diversifying their investment by committing to 2 competing strategies simultaneously.
Or option C, they're becoming more determined or putting more effort into an activity or decision.
The correct answer has to be C.
Option C is right. To double down on something is to increase intensity and commitment.
Often in response to a challenge or risk, like needing to double down on saving money when the first plan just isn't working.
Exactly. Question 7. A topic described as shrouded in stigma is one that is. Option A, completely covered or surrounded by disgrace, negative stereotypes, or shame.
Option B, reserved for private, confidential discussion due to its sensitive legal implications.
Or option C, protected from public view or criticism by an official governmental decree or mandate.
And the answer is A.
Option A, being shrouded in stigma relates specifically to that societal shame.
That's the barrier that prevents public discussion and makes it so difficult to talk about.
All right, our final question, number 8. When a habit is ingrained in a person, it means, option A,
It is a habit that can be easily picked up or dropped without much conscious thought.
Option B, it is firmly fixed or established in a person's habits, beliefs, or a culture so that it is difficult to change.
Or option C, it is a new beneficial behavior.
The correct answer here is B.
Option B it is. When something is ingrained in someone, it's a fundamental part of them.
It's part of their core values, their cultural DNA, much, much harder to change than just a simple habit.
So, achieving advanced fluency really requires mastering the rhetorical weight of these phrases. Remember to use them to express that nuance, like the focus of quality time or the psychological depth of feeling untethered.
Right. Make a conscious effort to integrate these into your spontaneous speech. The goal is to move these high-level terms from your notes and into your personal mainstream vocabulary.
And if you are looking for an opportunity to practice these phrases in a real-time conversation, head over to SpeakDuo.com. You can check out their lessons and find a partner to talk with right away.
Thanks for joining us for this advanced discussion of English usage.